All right. Hello, everyone. Hopefully you had a great first session. Welcome to the second session. This one is the elementary track, and I do have Kristen Logan with me today. She is going to be talking to you about tech coaching in the elementary schools. I just want to remind you, we do have the chat open. If you would like to spread some good vibes in the chat and share some ideas, that would be awesome. We also have the Q&A open. So if you see that at the bottom of your screen, you can ask any questions you would like in the Q&A. And Kristen's going to stop every so often and see if there are any questions, and I will let her know what questions that you have for her. So thanks again for coming, and we're going to get started, and welcome, Kristen.
Thanks, Robin. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining my session. Like Robin said, I am Kristen Logan. I am from Salt Lake City, Utah, and work in Granite School District to support two different elementary schools with the computer science program, CodeHS, and it's been a really great experience for me. So thanks for joining. A little bit about me. I have been in education for 16 years. I did 12 years as a classroom teacher, and the last 4 years I have transitioned into a technology coach. And over the last 2 years, I've worked with the CodeHS program and have just absolutely fallen in love with it and really have had a lot of positive experiences with it in elevating my coaching experience with my teachers. So I'm excited to share that with you. So the way that I broke down this session for you guys is into 3 different parts. I'm kind of going to go over the role of me as the tech coach supporting my schools and my teachers, how I've recruited teachers and seen success over the last 2 years with this program. And then my favorite part is sharing all of the success stories that I've had with my teachers and the students at both of my schools. Like Robin said, if you have any questions, I want this to be an interactive experience for you guys. So if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. Robin is going to monitor that for me, and then we can answer any questions as we go along. So computer science for all. I am at 2 different schools in an elementary school setting where one of my schools is K-6 and the other school is K-5. One of my schools does have functional life skills unit, which we'll kind of go into. But I really want to emphasize this is for all of our students, all of our teachers, and we'll go through that. So the role of the tech coach, I've kind of broken it down into 3 parts, trainer, facilitator, and a co-teacher. So as a trainer, what I do when I very first introduced this program to my schools is kind of shared an overview of what the program was going to look like for the teachers for that year, talked about schedules, the expectations of the program, different trainings that they would be able to be invited to, trainings that I would support them with. I also really wanted to think about the barriers that some of my teachers might face. So what's going to stress them out? Is this going to be something that they are worried about having to plan in addition to what they're already planning every day? Talk to them about those, address them, have conversations with them about that. And also just kind of the maintenance of deciding, okay, where are we going to house material? Where are we going to put our supplies? And how is that going to look at the schools for my teachers? So like I said, I'm at 2 different schools. One of my schools, we have 2 designated STEM labs. So as a group, we found a location in a hub for teachers to put all of their supplies, our robots, our materials, different training manuals. And that's kind of their hub that they know if they want to go and check out the robots, that's their go-to. One of the other schools I'm at, we're a little bit tighter in room and location and space. So they've asked that I hold on to all of that material in my office for them to come and check out as they need. They just don't have the space in their room to house all of this stuff. So as a facilitator, I help support setting up just kind of an online group. We use Teams at both of my schools. So I've supported a Teams chat where my teachers are able to ask quick questions throughout the day as they're going through and using the program with their students. I do create an email hub for them as well. I want teachers to share out the lessons, send pictures, say, hey, I just did this amazing lesson with my students. I just wanted to share it with you guys. And then I'm able to share that with our faculty so that we can celebrate and share ideas with what we're doing in the classrooms. I also do go to the trainings with my teachers. So we're fortunate where we've got a couple of trainings scheduled throughout the year. I make sure that I attend those trainings with my teachers so that I hear the content that's being shared with them, and then I can take that, answer any questions for them as well, and get hands-on with the different robots or the coding programs that we're using. And then something else that I do is I've created additional trainings in addition to the ones that our district has provided for our teachers. So I'll ask my teachers, hey, is there something else you want to learn a bit more about that I can help support? Last year I did 3 different trainings in addition to the ones that we went to as a district. And I invited some of our other neighboring schools who are participating in the CodeHS program as well to create little networks or PLC groups for our teachers at other schools. It was a really great experience to be able to group all of my 3rd grade teachers together, all of these 4th grade teachers, 5th, 6th, etc., for them to be able to say, hey, these are the successes I'm seeing in my school, or, oh, I did this lesson. Have you done this lesson? What successes did you see? And kind of just bounce ideas, as well as share the stories and get support through the other schools that are participating in the program. So those are kind of my role as getting started, the 3 different areas that I broke it down into. Co-teacher, this is my favorite part of my role. This has been the part that I just get so excited about, and I'm so passionate about sharing with the other tech coaches in my district, as well as everybody attending this conference today. The way that I co-teach at both of my schools is it's a meet, visit, meet. So I start by taking my teachers, opening the program, making sure that they know how to log into the program. They understand what their courses look like, how to access their students in the platform, as well as assign lessons and kind of go through all of that. So my first time as a cohort within my schools, we go through all of that, kind of just look at the interface and get really familiar with that. After that, I'll meet with my teachers on an individual basis, and we'll choose a lesson. So we'll sit down, look at the content, talk about what they want their overall first goal to be, and we'll go through all of that together. And then I'll actually push in and model that lesson for the teacher, introducing it to the students, and they kind of are just there to observe and be a second set of hands and eyes. And then after that, we'll get back together, meet, go through a feedback cycle, share what things did they notice, how did they think their students responded to the material, as well as plan that next lesson for them. So at that point, we'll sit down together, choose another lesson, and then I'll let them drive it, co-teach it. They'll take the content, and I'll be that second set of hands to support them. And then we'll meet a 3rd time, kind of go through that feedback process again, and then plan a 3rd lesson that they go and do. And by that 3rd lesson, I want my teachers to feel really confident and comfortable taking these lessons and just using them however they want. With my role, like I shared, I am at 2 schools, so I'm not at both of my schools every single day. It's an every other day. So I don't want my teachers to feel stuck where they can't take this content and teach it on a day I'm not there. My goal is to get my teachers so excited and so proficient with the platform as well as the lessons that they're using this every day within just their everyday teaching. So being a co-teacher is my favorite part of my role as a coach with this program. Okay, any questions at this point before we move into the whole recruitment?
I don't see any questions yet, but we can wait a minute and see if anybody types anything in.
Awesome. Okay, so recruiting, we'll get started with the next part. So recruiting our teachers. So these are our tech shy teachers, my really tech savvy teachers, and my maybe next week teachers. So, working in elementary schools, we've got that range of teachers. My tech shy teachers. So one of my schools is a little bit more tech shy and hesitant to kind of jump in with the computer science and the robots. They're my school that I just introduced CodeHS to this school year. My other school, we're in our second year of the program. These teachers, I made sure to go talk to individually. I stopped in, I shared the success that I had last school year, introducing it to my other school. Kind of talked to them, told them about the program, shared videos, shared pictures, opened the program up for them, got really excited with them to get them on board. Like I just shared with you, I explained the level of support that I would provide for them so that they didn't feel like this was something that they were just kind of being handed and then said, okay, you guys go figure it out. I really want my teachers to know that they're supported and they've got that cohort and group that they're able to bounce ideas off of and get feedback and support from. And then I just asked them if they're willing to participate. So my goal this year with my school I just brought it to was to get one teacher on every grade level, which I was able to successfully do, and get those teachers to then become so confident in this program and fall in love with it the way that I've fallen in love with it, and share it out so that next year it's not one teacher per grade level, but maybe two teachers per grade level, or the whole grade level taking this this program and just doing it as a grade level team. My tech savvy teachers. So like I've said, one of my schools, very tech savvy. When I very first introduced this program to that school, it was almost immediate. 100% of my teachers were like, I want to be a part of this. How can I be a part of this? And so I really wanted this to be something that was successful and manageable. And so what we did was we created an email, or we created a rubric for teachers. So I just sent out a quick Google form, asked why they wanted to participate in this program, how they saw themselves using the materials in the program, using the robots with students. Are they willing to become that expert trainer so that the following year they are that model class where we can have other teachers go in and possibly observe or take video or share out at faculty meetings or share out with other schools as well. And then based on that rubric, we selected a teacher from each grade level to be our first year cohort and got them really excited with taking that on. So that was last year. This year, because of so much success with those teachers, we have brought it school-wide. And the spring of last year is when we really started bringing more teachers on because of those expert teachers who were sharing their stories, posting their videos, sharing their pictures, as well as the students. When we empower our teachers and get our teachers excited about this content, our students get excited. My favorite thing in the day is when I walk down the hall and I have students stop me and say, Mrs. Logan, when are you coming back in to do another coding lesson with our class? When the students are excited, they share it. They talk about it at recess. They talk about it at lunch. They share it with their parents. So it really becomes just a school-wide program that has, it gets the students excited, which gets the teachers excited. Our maybe next speakers. So these are our teachers who maybe are not as tech shy, but they're also not as ready to jump in right away. I have a teacher who was one of those who is, you know what, not today, maybe next week. So with those teachers, I make sure that I'm checking in frequently. So, hey, just wanted to check in. I'd love to sit down, talk to you about this program, share everything that it's about, see if we can do a mini coaching cycle with your students. But I'm not pushing it to the point where they're feeling overwhelmed or just kind of bombarded. But as soon as I get that yes, I make sure to schedule that time, go into their classroom and plan a lesson so that their students are successful and they're successful and they get excited about being a part of that. So just making sure that once you get that no, it's not, okay, no, I'm going to move on from them. I just constantly make sure to check in, say hi, talk to the students, and really empower them to see the benefits of this program and how accessible it is for their students and them as educators as well. Kate, any questions at this point before we get into my favorite part?
We did have one question.
Yes.
Karen says, I love the rubric idea. Are you able to share a copy?
I can. So how would I share that with Robin? Is that something?
Yeah, I think at near the end, we can just have you pause your sharing. So your screen will stay frozen. And then if you want to fetch that link and we could put that in the chat, that's
Perfect.
up to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I'll see. I might have to do some digging. Is it something that we can add to the slides?
Yes, most definitely. So,
okay, so
yeah, if we don't want to take time to do that.
Yep, I can add a copy. I'm happy to add. And if there are the resources or anything that you see throughout any of this, please throw it in the chat and I am happy to share any resources or lessons or rubrics or forms that we've created for you guys to use as well. So
nice. Yeah, maybe if you just want to add a slide at the very end when we're done and we send out the resources, the slides just have all the links. Awesome. She appreciates it. She says thank you. The other question is from Carolyn, and it says, when you are recruiting teachers, what are the top things you looked for?
So with my school, so one of my tech shy school, my biggest goal was just to get teachers to say yes. I tried bringing it. So I bought Whittier is one of my elementary schools. I brought it to Whittier last year and they are my tech savvy schools. So when I was recruiting teachers and looking to get teachers involved, I wanted to make sure that one, they were committed to the program. So we did require a minimum 9 lessons throughout the school year. So that was one of the requirements that we looked for. We wanted it to be people who were excited about being a part of our STEAM team. So we did look to see, okay, in addition to this, what else can you do to support our vision of STEM and STEAM within our elementary school? As well as we wanted to make sure that these are people who were not brand new to technology. As a tech coach working with my teachers, I know who is a little bit more proficient versus who's going to struggle a little bit more. And with this program, we really wanted to make sure that we had a master teacher on every grade level so that they could be that level of support. especially on the days that I'm not there. So with an every other day schedule, I don't want teachers to feel trapped with me having to be there. I want them to be able to utilize grade level teams as well as other teachers within the school. And really just that, yes, if teachers said yes, I'm going to say yes, let's do it. I don't want, I wanted this to be something that they saw success with, and not something that they said yes because they felt obligated to. With my other school, I was just looking for that yes. I did have some teachers who are not tech savvy at all, but they were willing to learn the program, learn the material, and they are teachers who I've had to spend more time with in that co-teaching modeling phase. And I'm happy to do that, but now we're in April and I'll get text messages or emails from them with pictures celebrating, hey, I did this lesson. It did not go great, but I learned XYZ from it, and I can't wait to try it again tomorrow. So those are kind of the big wins for me and what I'm looking for. So if teachers want to do it, I want to do it. I'm happy to say yes to anyone who wants to be a part of this program. Okay, so moving into the success stories, and like I shared, the co-teaching and getting into the classrooms is my favorite part of being a tech coach, and seeing all of the success that we've had with this program at both of my schools has been the biggest victory for me. What I do with this program is prior to, we break it down into two parts. So we've got our Scratch or Scratch Junior part, and then we've got the robots. And what I do when I meet with my teachers and I'm introducing the entire goal, the outline of our program, is I share with my teachers prior to Christmas break, we're not breaking out the robots. When we tell our teachers robots, or if we tell our students robots, oftentimes they want to just jump in and get their hands on it. But I really want my teachers to feel confident in teaching that coding piece, and also have our students understand just those foundational coding pieces of the program as well. So up until Christmas, we really spend the majority of our time going through the Scratch or Scratch Junior platform within our classes to get our students really, really proficient in that block coding, so that when we introduce those robots, especially with my upper grades, my 3, 4, 5, 6, with that VEX Go, being able to put in those block coding and pairing that robot, it's important for them to have that foundational piece. With that, I do want to share one thing I did do with both of my schools. So Scratch Junior is for our kindergarten first, second grade. And then Scratch is assigned to my 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade students. What I kind of noticed about my 3rd grade students last year when I introduced this program to them is that Scratch was a little bit too hard for my 3rd grade students. So I actually start my 3rd grade students on Scratch Junior at the very, very beginning of the year, so that they can just kind of work with that drag and drop and really get those foundational skills really solid before we introduce Scratch. So my goal is with my schools, as the students have it introduced in kindergarten, first, second, by the time they get to 3rd grade, they will have already had it. But starting brand new, I do start those 3rd graders on Scratch Junior, and then we transition after Christmas to the Scratch program with those 3rd grade students. Okay, so I'm going to share a couple of success stories with Scratch Junior. So this is just kind of a picture of this is kindergarten students. These students were just practicing a skills practice sequence lesson that was provided through the CodeHS platform. Students were able to sequence the events. They're following multi-step directions while learning code. They're able to use their speaking and listening skills while sharing out completed projects. These students have fallen in love with this program. A cute story that was from one of this classes. The teacher told me after we had introduced it to him, I left the classroom and he turned to his teacher and said, I have waited my whole life to be a hacker. I cannot wait to learn hacking again. And they just get so excited to get their hands on their Chromebooks to do coding and share what they're doing. It's just been a really fun experience. And it's been really great to see how it has changed their critical thinking skills and the conversations that are happening with our 5- and 6-year-olds. This is a picture of a second grade class. They were doing a similar lesson. It was the skills sequencing events. Again, this is just provided through the CodeHS platform. These students sequencing events following multi-step directions. These students did choose to share their final project. They were able to go and share it with their groups, which is reinforcing speaking and listening skills as well. This is a first grade class. This teacher, she was one of my tech shy teachers, and she has just taken off with it. This is a really special example or success story I want to share with you guys. So we had decided to take a writing lesson that they had done with during their day. This, again, it's first grade. And they took that lesson and coded it into Scratch Junior to retell the story that they had worked on that quarter for writing. This student, and I'll share the video in just a second, was able to take the full story, code it out, and share it with the class, and it was really cool to see. So I'm gonna play that for you guys. So that was a really fun way for the student to be able to share that story, not only with his teacher, his classmates, but parents as well. And the teacher was so excited to see how well the student took the writing, integrated it with coding as well as speaking and listening. So we just hit so many different areas within these first grade students, and it was just a really great success. Scratch, fourth grade. So again, we usually start with Scratch Junior, introducing that skills, practice the events, just learning how to sequence those events. And these students were able to code their program, include sequence. They did need to add sound. Again, we're working on following multi-step direction, problem solving skills, and persevering through frustrating, getting stuck and working through those moments. Just another little quick video to share. Oops. Okay, so like I shared, once we've gotten back from Christmas break, that's when we start doing the robots. Similar to the introduction of Scratch Junior, I do that meet, visit, meet again when introducing the robots. So I'll sit down, talk with my teachers, go through the program, kind of go through what they want that lesson to look like, and I'll model that lesson for them. There'll be that second set of eyes. We'll have that quick feedback conversation, talk about what went well, plan our second lesson from there. Again, that's when they drive that lesson, and I'm just there for that extra set of eyes and hands to support them so that they're feeling success. Some of my teachers are so excited to get their hands on the robots. And some of them are a little bit more nervous. So I really want them to feel supported and successful with using these robots so that if I'm not there, they are ready to go and grab them from my room or our STEM labs and take them into their classrooms, and then get so excited to say, hey, you weren't here yesterday, but look at this amazing lesson I did with my kids and look at how successful they were. So we do have for kindergarten, we have the B-Bots, and then we also have the Code and Go mice. So B-Bots, this is just a video of our kindergarten students interacting with the B-Bots. They did have to sequence the events. So again, multi-step directions, showing us what sequence of events are you going to do, coding the B-Bots. They're working on communication, collaboration skills, problem-solving skills, all while learning how to code. The mice. So similar to the B-Bots, we have the mice robots. This has been a really cool addition to my schools. I really loved the mice robots, especially for my kindergarten students. So this is a picture of the lesson. What we did is I worked with the teacher to reinforce sight words with her kindergarten class using the Code and Go mice. So our students worked together to identify a sight word. So as you'll see on the video, the students were given a sight word. They had to identify that sight word and put that piece of cheese on their mat. Then they had to work together to lay out the cards to sequence how is their mouse going to get from that starting square to that cheese, and then work together to problem solve. Okay, did our mouse get there? As you see in this picture, we've just got that blank, the blank map for these students. But in the video, you'll see within that lesson, their problem solving skills, they were able to communicate, collaborate, and get it so quickly that we did end up putting in some barriers to make it a little bit harder. And again, we were seeing so many great conversations and critical thinking conversations where they were able to get the mouse from that start block all the way to that sight word. And as you see down the side of that table, they did have to, prior to starting and coding the mouse, we did have them use those sequencing cards so that they were able to process and think about how is their mouse going to go, and what's going to happen. Is that mouse going to hit that purple barrier? And if it does, what do they have to do to get around it? So this next success story I'm going to share, like I said, one of my schools has functional life skills classes. So in these classes, these are students who some of them are on ventilators, some of them are nonverbal. We have a range of students from kindergarten to 6th grade in these classes. And my goal is computer science for all students of all abilities, of all ages. So what we did with these students is we used the Code and Go mice. And this was one of my teachers who was maybe next weeker. I would check in with him and say, hey, I would love to do the robots with your students? Is this something you're interested in? And it was, oh, maybe next week. So after talking to him and understanding, what was that barrier that he was facing? What can I do to support him? He was a little bit more nervous. Will his students be successful? So we sat down. I showed him what the mice robots were. We talked about just getting the mice robots in the hands of his students. And once he was able to see how successful his students were, it was something where it was, wait, I want to do this again. And his students would see me in the hall and say, hey, when are we going to do more coding? And get really excited. And it has been something that has been really positive for him and his students, and also just that coaching relationship that I've had. So we're just placing down the simple directional cards for him to push. This student's goal was to figure out how far did he have to have his mouse travel in order to get to the cheese. So like I shared, once our teachers are seeing how successful their students are able to be with this program, they feel so much more confident and so much more excited about bringing it into their classrooms. So the B-bots, like I shared earlier, we do have B-bots at one of my schools. We have the B-bots and the mice. Again, this is another example of our functional life skills class. So the students were just able to put in simple codes and directions with supportive teachers as well as paras. And the success, it is all students of all abilities are able to enter some type of directional code into the B-bots. And something to note is for many of these students, just following one prompt is part of their IEPs. So we're able to get our students really excited about getting hands-on and elevate their learning and make it more engaging for them as well. These are just some pictures. And then here's another video.
Now we're gonna go right. Forward. Yeah. Now left. And right.
Good job, Dylan.
And left.
How are you gonna do it?
Yeah.
Where's your robot?
This'll be.
Okay, so our VEX 1, 2, 3, these are our robots for our second graders. So this is an example, or the pictures that I'm going to share are students solving math addition, subtraction, word problems. This is from one of my second grade teachers at my Tech Shy school. This is something I was so proud of her. She did this lesson all by herself on a day I wasn't there. She was so excited that she got her students interacting with their math problem versus just giving them a piece of paper or a Chromebook and saying, okay, do these problems. She said her students absolutely loved it. Successes, they're working on their math programs, programming their VEX. She had high engagement, cooperative learning. They were successfully able to complete their math. She shared it didn't go as well as she would hoped that first time, but we were able to talk through it and have that feedback coaching cycle. And I was able to go back and support her in doing an additional lesson and just build upon what she had already introduced with her teachers. Her students were so excited. She was so excited. And she, again, is just seeing so much success from getting her students' hands on the robots. So let's go. This is going to be a third grade class. These third grade students, we're working on speed and energy. Again, this was a lesson provided through the CodeHS platform. Students were learning coding skills through their grade level content, learning, again, that cooperative learning piece is so critical. Perseverance skills while learning science, cause and effect relationships.
Oh, it's like a cleanup truck. I don't remember the library books. I think. Nice, it's coming for me.
And then here's another video of that same class. So these are fourth grade students. This was an intro to VEX Go. This is a lesson I did introduce and support my teacher with. Working on cooperative learning skills, following multi-step directions. After I had gone in that first time, the teacher, her students immediately caught on. She was so empowered and excited to take it and to just run with it that she started using it with math, talked about measurement, data collection with her students. And she did this lesson on her own independently and shared the videos and pictures.
If it did, then you're going to go on the next one and try number 2 by changing your numbers in your code.
So, and again, my goal as a tech coach is really to support my teachers, empower them to feel successful so that they are doing these lessons and then telling me about them and getting their teammates and the other students so excited to jump in as well. Another part of my success stories is the trainings, the teacher trainings, the PDs. My goal is provide teachers with ongoing trainings based on their interests and needs. So throughout the year, I do ask my teachers, do you have more trainings that you want? What can I do to support you? How can I support you in and out of the classrooms? Inviting other schools to attend those PDs and trainings so that we've created those school networks where third grade is talking to third grade at another school, et cetera. The successes are that teachers are able to network, learn from each other at other schools, create that network, and leave with lessons that they can take from these trainings and PDs and implement the next day with their classes. So, and these are just some quotes. This is one of my kindergarten teachers. You know, the benefits of this platform is these lessons are so simple for them to follow. It's not something that they're having to do in addition to what we're already asking our teachers to do, but almost in replace of. So we're already teaching math. How can we take that and integrate it into our CodeHS or into our Scratch platform or Scratch Junior, or integrate it with our robots and get our students hands-on and get them really excited about coming to school and learning this content while being actively engaged. So, and this is just another quote that I get. I do elicit feedback throughout the year, like I shared, and just ask, hey, what's working with this? What successes are you seeing? What share something that you love about this program. And then this is just from my fourth grade teacher. So there we are.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Thank you guys.
Everyone.
I hope everyone got something out of this. It's, again, like I said, I have loved this program, and it's just been something that I've had so much fun working with and being a part of.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to remind everyone that you will get the resources and the links to the recording after this. I did put in the chat a survey that we would like you to take. And then you do have plenty of time to go and choose your next session for our final session. We do have a couple of questions that people ask, so I just wanted to get those going. But in the meantime, people can fill out the survey. And let's see. So the first question that we got was back just a little bit ago. And it was asking, have you coached any teachers that primarily use project-based learning?
So I have not. That's getting my teachers to, that's actually been one of my goals as a coach with both of my schools, is really getting my teachers to go from that teacher directed instruction to that student centered instruction, and really show my teachers how they can get my students, or get their students to work cooperatively, and have those interactive conversations. I do at both of my schools, it is a lot of teacher directed instruction. So this program has really kind of helped support that shift, but they're not quite there yet, but they're on their way. So
Awesome. Next question is, how long is the mice lesson? Do you pre-build the mats or have the students put them together and clean up at the end?
great question. So that's actually something we were just kind of talking about. I pre-build the mats for them. It is right before my students came in. I knew that we were going to do that 4x4 grid. I had ordered some little clear envelopes that I'd stuck to all of the mats, just kind of as the tech coach, just making sure that we've got these ready to go for my teachers. I did ask the teacher to provide me with the sight words for that lesson. But after that lesson, I mean, my goal is to make it so that it's pretty easy and ready to go for them. I ended up printing off multiple sets of those sight words and just kind of putting them in baggies in that Code and Go mouse bin that I've got in my room, so that moving forward, it's all ready to go. It maybe took me 3 minutes to set up all of those mats. They click in really fast. So, but that is
Awesome.
something we were just kind of talking about the other day, is how can we get these so that they are set up, because they don't, like, as soon as you lift them, they're going to all fall apart.
And it looks like last question, how familiar were you with CodeHS before you became a coach using CodeHS?
0.
Yeah.
So this was something that was kind of a survey that was sent out to the tech coaches in my department. Hey, we've got this program. Is this something that you're interested in? And I started reading about it, and immediately I jumped into it because I saw the value in bringing computer science and coding to our students, but also the value it created for me as a tech coach supporting my teachers. It just naturally and organically created these coaching cycles based on computer science and coding. So it really made it easy for me to say, hey, I've got this really great lesson. I think that you would have a lot of success. Let's try it out. And then it kind of just spiraled from there. But prior to that, none.
One more. Do your schools also have a computer specialty class, or is this all the computers they get?
Yep. So they don't. At the elementary school, that's me. That's my role. I support my teachers in all of the computer specialty tech side of things. I do have some teachers, like I said, who are really tech savvy, and they've been doing this and they're really proficient with it. But that's my role, to support my teachers at my schools with it. So.
All right, I think that was all the questions. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank
You
you,
did an
guys.
amazing job.
Thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. I know this was a lot of awesome information that was super helpful. And like I said, everybody will get copies of the resources from the session. And now you can go and take a look and see what session you want to do next.
Thank
All
you,
right.
guys. Have a great day.